A fooling the cerebral palsy fat the bear, who Geamaichean Paralimpics Kirsty Soutar a heat blasted Jenna Spòrs club through, who the horsey at club Geamaichean Red Star.
When I first joined, I was in January, you know, winter, raining, snowing, blah blah blah. So I was in the hall, and then this random coach came up to me and said, what's your name and do you have cerebral palsy? And I was like, that's a bit rude. And he's like, no, I'm sorry, my name's like his name. And then he was like, my son's got cerebral palsy and he does this thing called club throw. What on earth is club throw? So he explained, it's like a big javelin thing and you throw it behind you. And I was like, this man's crazy and he gets measured. So he was like, do you want to give it a go? Because in the sports hall they were doing things like standing up and I don't know, doing things I couldn't do. And I was like, okay, I give it a go then. So he took me outside and got me to throw this club. So yeah, that's when it all started.
Get the Geamaichean Paralimpics spòrs a doshach, ha ada Kirsty inush is a dreuchd mar Geamaichean club throw. Agus a stewige curugangers on a bhí mar fáirse Academy Geamaichean Paralimpeach Breatainn. Báithí go bilí na sarpasiche na bhaie smúnjin.
Well, at the very beginning, to be honest with you, I thought it was a really random sport that nobody knew about, including me. And to be honest, I thought my coach was winding me up about this sport. But apparently, more like people didn't know about it down south. So I done some competitions and I thought, this is quite good actually, brilliant. And then one night about 11 o'clock at night, I nearly missed a Facebook message. Like I nearly just deleted it. I thought it was spam and it wasn't. It was British Athletics letting me know that I got into the academy. So I was like, okay. So I was loving it before. Then my coach began measuring like my distances. And then, to be honest, I know that is not good, but I got a bit obsessed with the measurements and how far I would go. So I was throwing at the time 12-13, what was good at the time, but I needed to get higher and do more. And then I didn't think I was competitive. But when you come into like a sport with other disabled people round about your own disabilities, you're like, if you see somebody doing something, you're like, right, I need to, do what they're doing and I need to be better than them. Because in sports, you get different classifications in sports and you compete against the classifications that other people are with you. So if you let them win, they're gonna have, opportunity to go to Paris, to go to Tokyo, to go to London. So if they get to go, then you're not going. So you need to be competitive. You need to be on your game. You need to be ready. You just need to be one step in front of them.
Ha buin taich Kirsty in sas gomór an the spòrs cúteach. Hanneach cúteachí persanta eich gesami a clúis san estrabi piala gab to Queen's Park. Agus amad als na dochtad san estrabi piala hyn coloddi Glasgow City.
My mum's the doctor for Glasgow City Women's and that's been fantastic because I've got to go to the games and the team know me as well. So I've been meeting the team and I look up to them, especially like Joe and all that, because they're so big in the football world and some of them go abroad and play internationally. So they're great and they seem quite normal as well. So like I love going to the games, and like every time at the end they come along and they ask me how like my sport is and stuff like that, and then sometimes I get training techniques like from them, like obviously not about the throwing but about like warm-ups and stuff. Sammy's amazing because he brings me to training Monday and Wednesdays, comes in and gets me, helps me get dressed if I'm not dressed. Mostly Sammy's job is I've got organisational problems, so she helps me to do my timetable, my diaries, mixing them on time, support network, so she encourages me to this brilliant. It's really interesting because she trains 3 nights a week, so like I find it like she has to go to training, and sometimes the times are a bit random, but she always comes to work the next morning, and it's really good because, to be honest, like that's what made me want to go into sport as well, because Sammy was doing sport, so I was like, oh, let's try this, and I tried to go and look for the disabled football team, but I decided that wasn't for me, so yeah.
Inis ag bhith an h-Alba agus gas a rioch Geamaiche an the club through at dreuchd ag Kirsty like coach John Owens.
So John randomly popped up just before COVID, or a year before COVID. Unfortunately, as I said, one of the coaches passed away, which was awful. But then John Owens came, and I don't know where he came from, like he wasn't there and then he was there. It was like he just came out of the ground, but it's been so good because we've got clubs through racing bikes, running bikes and other sports, and they used to be like dotted around and we weren't like really together, but since John has came, like everyone's beginning to know each other, and he's really good. He's really supportive. He helps when I'm stuck. He helps me when I got upset. He like if something's not right with like at a competition with like the sticks or with like the poles or the throwing circle, like he says, like he goes over and talks to them, like talks to the officials, and then if I've got a red flag, which is not good, and he thinks it's not fair, like he goes over to talk to them, like it's just fantastic.
Get Kirsty is na Geamaichean Paralimpeach an the Paris and the Davilas fiche a céad. Has dad vi héna chrutchin gewil kormaich gevial.
Sometimes I'm thinking, oh my goodness me, Paris is for like the elite athletes. Then John, my coach, reminds me I am an elite athlete. So I'm like, oh, okay then. So I'm always on my guard. I'm always trying to eat good food. I'm always trying to do my weights. Sometimes John tells me to calm down because sometimes I'm just like too eager to do things. He's like, remember you don't need to rest. I was like, no, we need to do this. So yeah, hopefully I get to Paris. I need to get over a certain number, and I've only got a year to do that. So I don't like other people from Red Star are aiming for that as well, like where we are now. So if we get to go, my friends will be going as well, and I'll be going to compete. Because the last time I went to Scotland, I went to Spain and I didn't do too good. So I want to go away again and get a good, not even a PB, but just like a really good mark, or like I'd be so good. I'd even like so big, I can't even think about it.